Today I'm going to be walking through how to install a shutoff valve in a copper pipe when you don't have an end of the pipe. It's just in the middle of the pipe you need to put a shutoff valve. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this SharkBite slip ball valve. And what you can do is you can cut a 2-inch piece out of this 1/2-inch pipe, and the amount you cut out depends on the diameter of the pipe. So I'm going to cut out a 2-inch piece, slide it down, and then slide it up. And then we'll have a shutoff valve in the middle of this pipe. Now, why do I need to put a shutoff valve here in this pipe? Well, this pipe goes to a sink that's in the bathroom on the other side, and I'm having a leak right now in that faucet, so I need to replace it, but that faucet does not have shutoff valves in its supply lines. And the vanity is so small and so tight, I can't actually get in there to install shutoff valves. I'd have to remove the whole vanity. So because I have access to the wall in the back of it, I'm going to put the shutoff valves here with this pipe, and then I can shut the water off just to this sink. It also supplies the toilet in that bathroom, but that's okay. And then the rest of the house can still use water while I'm working on fixing that sink. So the first thing we need to do is to go and shut off the water at the main and drain all of the water out of these lines by opening up the faucets that are on this line, opening up, any tubs or showers to let all the water drain out before we cut the pipe. So shut the water off either at the main valve, or if you have shutoff valves somewhere else in your system like I do here, I'm going to go ahead and shut both my cold and hot valves. So now I can start draining the water out of all of those lines. So this is the faucet that's dripping that I have to replace. So I'm going to open it up, start draining the water out. This bathroom also has a shower, so I'm going to open up that. Start the water draining now. You have to open up the other faucets on the line, because otherwise it won't all drain out. It needs the water line to have air coming in at the top so it all drains down. So while we're waiting for the water to drain out of the line, we can go ahead and mark where we want to make our cut. So again, we need to cut 2 inches out of this pipe, and we want to make sure that when we're marking it, the valve handle is going to move like that. So we want to make sure it's not impeding anything up above. If it's going to be up above, if you're doing it this way, then again, nothing down below. I've had to remove a shelf that is usually here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my 2 inches about at this level. On this side, you can see there's an electrical cable. So I want to make sure that it's not going to have a problem. If I install it this way, it's not going to have a problem. This handle isn't going to hit that, so I'm going to have to be up about here. So we'll go ahead and mark the 2 inches that I have to take out. Now I'm using a permanent marker because that's going to show up. Otherwise, you just use a pencil, you may not see it on the copper. So you can see the 2 marks there where I'm going to be making my cuts. Now this pipe, again, I got a lot of room around it, but this pipe over here is right up against that 2x4. So I'm going to have to release that bracket there that's holding the pipe onto the wood, the 2x4, so that I can have a little play with it so that I have enough gap in the spot where I need to cut. Okay, so I've loosened this pipe up top there, got a little bit of flexibility in it. Now I'm going to take my pipe cutter and cut this pipe at the marks where I got it, and I've got some sanding cloth to clean up the copper when I got it cut. With all of these, there is a direction, so take a look at the direction when you clip it on. Which way do you need to turn it? Now, I've got a towel here to catch any drips, because even though the pipe is supposed to be all drained, there's still probably some water that's going to come out. So got it just a smidge below that line. So I want to line this up. Just okay. So now I've got my 2-inch piece cut out. I'm going to use my sanding cloth. Trying to make sure it's clean. There's dirt, debris from, because the SharkBite, when it goes on, it has an O-ring there that needs to cleanly seal with this pipe. So you need to make sure the pipe is as clean as you can get it. So the other thing when you're using SharkBite fittings is to use this tool, which is their deburring and marking tool, so you know how far the pipe has to go in. And so what this does is it has a little cutter inside to deburr. So for the appropriate size, this is the 1/2 inch. I'm going to make sure that on each end I go back and forth with the deburring tool to make sure I've got it nice and clean and smooth. And then I'll use the tool to mark. So insert the pipe all the way in and make a mark right at the edge there. The same here. And what this does is it gives you the confidence that you have inserted the valve properly. Now, to put the valve on, you'll see one end says slip end, and that's the one you're going to slide all the way up. And we're gonna release this grip, and we're gonna put it all the way down. Now you can rotate it once it's done, so you don't have to position it sort of rotationally exactly where you want it, because you can rotate it after it is on. Now when you're putting this on, is it directional? No, it's not directional, so you can put it on however sort of it works easiest for you. In this particular case, I think it's going to be easiest for me to try and pull it down. Now that does mean the shutoff valve handle is going to come out, but again, I can rotate it this way so it's hidden in behind the shelf, so that's not going to be a problem. It's just going to be easier for me to pull it down. So I'm going to push it all the way up first and then put it down. It comes with this little release tool that you use to release it to move it down. Okay, so now I've got it up above the pipe. Now I need to use my release tool to release the grip at the top. You can see I'm moving it down the pipe, and I want to make sure that I get to that line that I marked on the bottom. And you can see the line at the top as well. So you can see the line at the bottom, I've reached that, and it's at the line at the top as well. And you want to make sure when you're putting it on, it is in the open position, which is the handle straight down in line with the actual valve. So that's how you put on one of these slip ball valves to add a stop valve where you need it in a copper line. Now I just have to go doing the other one. So use your cutter, add the line here, you get inspection, so on the bottom here, and then up to the line. Okay. Just a little bit of water, size, expect that, and a little bit below the line there, so make sure that it lines up a little here. Okay, so about 2 marks. There, now I'm going to take my sanding cloth, clean up over here, and make sure it's nice and clean, so that it's sealed with the SharkBite foaming. You want to use the deworming tool with the SharkBite. I'm not going to go to mess in this. Absolutely. There's more reason that you want to use SharkBite. You don't use this in proper order packs. So don't mess it and use it. Okay, so go to the end right line. Now again, let's set slit end. So that's one I'm going to slide up first and then bring that down using this release there. There we go. So it's at the lines. Again, rotate it if you want to, and you can have it open or closed. So when you go to, the next step is to turn the water on and make sure that there are no leaks. So we're going to go do that and then leave it in the open spot. Then you can close them, but don't close it to start with, because you want to make sure there are no leaks on both sides. Carefully checking for any leaks at either of the joints. Water is running through these pipes right now. So now I'm going to test shutting it off. Double check for leaks up at the top there. Okay. So that's how you can install a SharkBite slip ball valve onto a 1/2 inch copper pipe. It allows you to have shutoff valves when you need them and you can't put them somewhere else, or if you wanted to isolate part of your water system to be able to do some maintenance on it. It's an easy, simple way to do that. I'll link to some of the tools and the products that I used down in the description below. If you found this video helpful, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel so you get notified when I publish new videos. If the information in this video is helpful, here are some other videos I think you'll also find helpful. Thanks for watching.